I'm 13 WMAZ meteorologist Alex Forbes. Now, 4 active storms in the Atlantic right now. We have Hurricane Fiona, Tropical Depression 9, which was named early this morning, Tropical Storm Gaston up there in the North Atlantic, and newly named Tropical Depression 10 over off the African coast. These 3 areas, including that small chance of development, not too concerned about those here in the United States. So we're going to talk about Hurricane Fiona and Tropical Depression 9. First, Fiona has been in the neighborhood for a while now, right? It moved to the Caribbean this week and bringing power outages to Puerto Rico and significant impacts. It has just passed Bermuda there to the west, continuing to move towards the northeast at 35 miles an hour. This thing is racing up towards Canada, and as it does so, it's losing its tropical characteristics. Nonetheless, a strong storm still moving towards the Canadian coast. This is just going to be on the eastern side of Halifax. Winds of 100 miles an hour potentially Saturday morning, and that will race on up towards the pole or in that direction. Now this morning, Tropical Depression 9 was named in the Caribbean Sea. Notice how a lot of the shower and storm activity is dislocated from the center. It's on the west side there. The storm as a whole is moving towards the west-northwest at about 14 miles an hour. But the reason why a lot of the activity is on the west side is because on the east side of the storm, there's a lot of wind shear around. You can see this blue shading here from the Atlantic stretching across the Lesser Antilles down towards the Venezuelan coast. Once the storm moves away from that, it's going to have the opportunity to strengthen, and that's what the forecast is showing. So over the next few days, we have a fair amount of confidence in this track here, a strengthening tropical storm passing just to the southwest of Jamaica. Well, once we get into next week, a hurricane there moving from the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico, and then it looks like eventually into Florida. Let's get some of the specifics here on the end of the cone. Keep in mind, a cone is drawn by a meteorologist, drawn by a forecaster. This is not a computer model, so pretty much the entire Florida peninsula in the cone here with the center line coming right through Fort Myers. But don't pay attention to where the center is. Take a look at this white line right here. This is the National Hurricane Center saying the center of the storm could be anywhere right along this white line Wednesday at 8 a.m. as a major hurricane, winds of 115 miles an hour. So we're going to be watching the specifics on that closely. When we look at the major global models, they were in fairly good agreement the past few days. Now, not so much. The GFS has a stronger storm passing the tip of Cuba there into the Gulf of Mexico. The Euro has a weaker storm going over Cuba. Roll this forward into Tuesday evening. GFS has a stronger storm there off the Florida coast in the Gulf of Mexico. Euro has a weaker storm close to the Keys. And then things get really interesting when we play this forward into next week. This is Wednesday evening. The GFS trying to bring that on shore. The Euro is sending it up the coast. Friday morning, the GFS still has the energy down near Florida. The Euro has it 100 plus miles away, several hundred miles away. Let me take a look at the GFS a little more specifically, the different kinds of models that run with them. Each individual white line here takes the GFS and changes one little thing in the model to see how that would change the track. And what you notice here is the main GFS red line right here is tracking on the west side of the overall cone that runs up through Florida. And notice a lot of the ensemble members are as well. So that's something we're going to be watching closely. The general trend in central Georgia is the further west it goes, the higher chance we have of seeing at least some impact from it, whether it be rainfall or anything along those lines. But nonetheless, we're going to be watching this very closely as we head into the weekend and into next week. So what you need to know right now, Tropical Depression 9 is going to strengthen into a tropical storm moving through the Caribbean this weekend. We're going to be watching for new trends in the computer models because this turn into Florida is a new trend. We want to see if that sticks around, if the models continue to show that. And Monday will be the day where we know a lot more information. So you're certainly going to want to check back for updates here on 13 WMAZ.